everybody, and welcome to Alien Zoology, a pulp adventure skirmish game written by Titus Painting. In Alien Zoology, you take on the role of an eccentric zoologist who is on a hunt for some alien creature, in this case the spider here. Tagged along is the zoologist's expedition, in this case consisting of a scientist who can take care of the creature's eggs, an assistant who can take care of the creature's poo, a ranger who can throw out food to bait the creature into a certain direction, and a big game hunter who may place deadly traps and who is toting an even deadlier rifle to tear down the creature. Alien Zoology comes with a pretty interesting initiative mechanic, because every time you get to act with a model, the model gets to perform a movement action, and one of 3 actions belonging to that model. In this case, here we've got the 3 actions for the zoologist. He may either shoot his pistol or distract the creature. That's some kind of aggro management. Aggro is a resource telling the creature where to move. Or he may throw his net, which is by far the most important action of the entire game. Because if the zoologist manages to throw the net successfully on the creature, he has caught the creature and the game is won. And you get to build a stack of cards. 5 cards in the beginning, 1 card for each of your member of the expedition, and you get to decide which team member gets to act when and which action does the team member perform after moving. And after each time one of your members of the expedition has acted, the creature gets to act with one of its 5 cards as well. These are 5 of 50 cards. You may either roll on a table or draw the cards to see which cards you get, or you can assign these cards arbitrarily. If you think, okay, these match for the creature I've got here. That's what I did here. So it's a pretty strong creature the fellows here are trying to catch. For starters, it is recommended to have a starting value of 10 health for a starting creature. This creature, however, has 150% of this, so it starts with 15 health. So it's more difficult to actually catch. And yeah, I'd say let's set up the game and see how well the expedition is performing. The expedition has gone into starting position. The ranger, being the ranger, was allowed to take an initial step of 6 inches. But for now, let's roll for initiative. The entire game is D10 driven, so even initiative is determined with a D10, who gets to act first. The blue and violet die will always be used for the expedition. The orange die will be used for the spider. So the expedition gets to act first. Right, so I decided to have the scientists go first with behavioral study. The creature's next action card does not have any effect. If it's an action card that requires energy and the creature had the requested amount of energy, the energy is used despite the card having no effect. Right. The scientist, being responsible for the creature's eggs, moves towards the eggs. And now it's the spider's turn. As none of these has any aggro for now, the spider performs a random movement. Random movement means you get to roll a d5, which basically is a d10 divided by 2 rounded up. So I've rolled a 3 that direction. 3 inches. It's roughly somewhere over there, some steps backwards. Okay, the spider 2 receives a first card. Faster than lightning. The creature attacks so incredibly fast that it's barely visible. It remains stationary but performs a close combat attack against the furthest figure even if it has no line of sight to it. This would be very nasty. However, let's remember behavioral study. The creature's next action card does not have any effect. So, this card does not have any effect. The creature remains where it is, does not attack anyone, and now the expedition gets the next action. And it's the assistance action. Throw rock. Needs line of sight, 18-inch range. The assistant throws a rock at the creature, no shooting test. Roll a d10, 1 to 5. The creature moves with full movement while you're towards the assistant. 6 to 10, it moves with full movement away from the assistant. Right, let's see. The assistant moves his 6 inches. He moves him somewhere here. He wants to get around the lake so he can reach a poop counter. Is the assistant within 18 inches to the spider? Yeah, easily. Okay. So, 5. Let's compare again. The creature moves with full movement while you're towards the assistant. So, the creature's got a movement of 7. So, it moves there where the dice is. A usual creature could not move across the lake, as this would be a hindrance. However, the creature has got an ability allowing her to do so. You can find the description of the spider down in the video description. And if you've read the rules, you can understand why the creature may perform this action, this movement. And yeah, it's the spider's turn. The spider once again does a random movement 2 inches over there to the left. Okay, so it's roughly here. And it does a mind control. The creature has to pass a nerve test. If it does, the figure that it's activated next will move towards its closest figure, possibly an expedition team colleague, and will attack it in close combat if possible. The action card of this moved figure does not have any effect. Ooh, nasty. The creature's got a nerve of 6+, and succeeds. So let's see who's next in line. The Zoologist with a distract action. Distract does not have any effect, but the Zoologist moves to the next model and attacks. Let's check. The Zoologist attacks on a 6+ and fails, fortunately. Alright, but the Zoologist may still move somewhere, and he moves over here, just for the fun of it. Alright, the spider gets another turn. Still no aggro. It moves 2 inches. There's a tree in the way. I'll just remove the tree. 2 inches is roughly here. And it gets to attack. The creature moves to the next visible figure, no matter how far away the figure is, and attacks in close combat. So, the closest, I think these two are equally close. So 1 to 5, 6 to 10. And it attacks the scientist. This spider attacks on a 3+. That's a hit. And the scientist defends on a 6+. That's a fail. So the scientist goes down from 3 life to 2 life. Ouch! The expedition's turn. The big game hunter may move and lay out a trap within 12 inches range. The big game hunter lays out a trap. Place a trap marker within 12 inches of the big game hunter, maximum 3 on table. If a figure, creature, or expedition team member touches the marker while moving, the marker is destroyed. The corresponding figure ends its movement and gets damage, -1 hit point. Produces no aggro. Alright. So the big game hunter gets to move. And he moves, let's move him here. And places a trap within 12 inch. That's roughly the distance right over to the spider. So let's place a trap token here. And the spider performs a movement action. 1 inch over here. And a card action, spit. The creature spits in the face of the expedition team member with the highest aggro value within a 12-inch radius. Shoot test of the creature. If successful, the target cannot move the next time. So yeah, nobody's got any aggro for now. So let's just randomize. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2. Not only did the scientist get an attack, but he also gets spit in the face. She. So, yeah, great. It was the spider's turn. No last member of the expedition, the ranger, may move and feed canapes. That's the foot tokens. 12-inch range, the ranger throws foot. Place a foot marker in a 12-inch radius around the ranger. Remove up to 2 aggro that are on the ranger. The foot heals 1 hit point, and the foot marker has got 2 aggro. Right, so the ranger moves here, over here, and deploys a foot marker right here, within 12 inch. That's quite a lot actually. Let's place it somewhere here. This looks good. To acro. And this has been the final action of the expedition. And even so, the spider still has got one action card left. This turn is over. The spider cannot act anymore for this turn. All right, round 2. Initiative. The expedition begins. We're starting with the assistant. Once again, the throw rock action. The assistant moves around here. He's gonna bit off the area. Here he is. And throws a rock at the spider. 2, the creature moves his full movement towards the assistant. Wonderful. So the spider is here. The plan was to drive the spider away, and so it does not run through everyone here in the pass, which it now does. Because for now, the spider moves towards the acro goal, the acro aim. And so it moves along the assistant, the scientist, and the zoologist. And let's just say the spider stops here or after the zoologist and runs into the trap, which finally stops the spider, at least for the moment. However, it attacks everyone on the pass. So the spider moves, triggers the trap, ouch, receives the first point of damage for the trap. And yeah, right, it attacks everyone, starting with the assistant. The spider attacks on a 3. The assistant defense on a 6 or more fails, goes down to 1 life. The spider attacks the scientist, fails, and the zoologist hits. Zoologist defense on a 4+, so this is defended. Okay, great. And the spider receives an action card, attack. Once again, moves to the next visible figure, which is the zoologist in this case, and it attacks once again and fails. Great. So, who's next? The ranger with a gunslinger action. He needs line of sight, 12 inches range. He may shoot twice, and each success raises the defense test of the target with +1. So the defense gets worse. Each failing defense test causes the creature to lose 1 hit point. Do I move the ranger? Yes, I do. At least some steps away for reasons. And fire. The ranger shoots on a 5+. First one is a hit. And the spider defends on a 7+ due to gunslinger ability. fails the first shot. The first shot causes 1 damage. And the second shot, another hit, which is again not defended. So the spider is down to 12 life. And the ranger has caused 2 damage and thus receives 2 aggro. Alright, the spider's turn. A baby hatches. Determine a random egg, including the ones held by scientists, which currently is not the case. Replace the egg with a model of the baby creature. It always moves at every creature's turn, always moves randomly, plays no action cards, and can't be caught. Alright, so first things first, the spider moves. So which one is closer? 6 inches to the ranger and 6 and a bit, almost 7 inches for the foot token. So it moves towards the ranger. On the path lies the zoologist. So the spider attacks the zoologist and the ranger. The zoologist first fails and the ranger is hit. The ranger defends on a 5+. That's a 7, so the attack is defended. Very good. And the baby hatches. Itsy bitsy spider. All right. Next is the zoologist, who distracts. He removes or adds 1 aggro from or to a figure. The zoologist may redirect to himself, or he removes 1 energy from or to a creature. Right. Zoologist moves somewhat down here and removes 1 aggro from the ranger. So for now, the spider moves here to the foot token, eats the foot token, and receives 1 health. So it's again up to 13. Let's just say for the moment the spider was so focused on the foot it ignores the big game hunter here. Then again it gets a card, Mind Control, once again, to the closest figure, which is the big game hunter. Nerve test of 6+. The spider rolls a 2, so fails. And let's see. Next in line is the big game hunter, who shoots his antique large caliber rifle. He needs line of sight with unlimited range. He gets 1 shot. If this shot is successful, the target defends with a +2 on the defense value. So instead of a 6+, the spider gets an 8+ defense roll. If the defense test fails, the target suffers a D5 damage, or is reduced by D5 hit points. So the big game hunter moves some steps backwards and opens fire. His shooting ability is at 5+. He has rolled a 4, so he fails the shot. So yeah, there's that. I forgot the tiny spider's movement last turn. This direction, 4 inches. It's over here. The big spider spits once again onto the expedition team with the highest aggro value, which now is the ranger. And also it once again moves back towards the ranger and attacks. 4+, that's a hit. And the ranger rolls a 4 for defense. However, he's got 5+ defense roll, so he goes down from 3 to 2 hit points. The tiny spider gets a random movement this direction, 4 inches. It's down here. And one last turn, the scientist, one last action, the scientist who cannot move. Oh, wait. The spider spits, but fails, spitting on the ranger. The scientist removes the cobweb and shoots. And yes, does a shooting test. It's not too good. 6+, 5 fails the shot. All right. End of turn 2. Let's start by rolling for initiative. The expedition's got a 7, so the expedition begins. We begin with the scientist who has done excessive research beforehand. The player may look at the creature's top face-down action card. If desired, this card may be placed at the bottom of the creature's action card pile. And it would be a mind control. Yep, we're putting this at the bottom. Sounds like a good idea. And the scientist moves 6 inches towards the X here. And now the spider gets to act. Another baby hatches. No, it doesn't, only one baby. Can be in the gaming area. It says so here on the card. So basically this is a void action. The creature just remains in position for now, as it's at the ranger who has got the highest aggro value. And it attacks, hits. The ranger, however, defends. And the tiny spider gets to move this direction, 4 inches over here. In case you don't get what I'm doing, the D10 is cone shaped, so I'm only rolling the die to see in which direction the point of the cone points. So I get a direction for the spider to move. Just saying. All right. Next in line is the ranger himself, who is doing a torero move. He moves 6 inches straight in one direction. If it touches the creature while moving, this counts as a close combat attack with -2A, so the attack gets better, and the creature gets +2 defense, so it defends worse. So the ranger moves 6 inches in one direction, and he moves over here. Attacks on a 5+ regularly, however, due to torero, with -2 on a 3+, so 4 is a hit, and the spider defends on an 8. A 7 is not a defense, so once again it's down to 12 life. And the ranger's aggro goes back up to 2 because he has inflicted 1 point of damage. The spider turns around, moves back to the ranger, attacks the ranger, and 3+, misses, and receives an action card, Faster Than Lightning. So the spider attacks the figure furthest away, which is the scientist, on a 3+, hits. The scientist defends on a 6+, fails, and she is down to 1 life. Ouch! The small spider gets to move in this direction 4 inches. Okay. Next is the big game hunter. He uses once again his antique large caliber rifle to shoot the spider, and once again he tries to get away and fires 6. That's a hit. The spider defends on 8+, 7, fails the defense. So no, the big game hunter gets to roll a d5 to determine damage. It's 8, that's 4 points of damage, and 4 aggro for the big game hunter. So hit points of the spider have gone down to 8. As the hit points have dropped below 10, now technically the zoologist could start throwing his net. Throwing a net means doing a shooting test, and if this succeeds, you get to roll another d10, and if the result of the d10 plus the remaining hit points is 10 or below, the creature is caught. So a creature with 8 hit points is still pretty hard to catch. And the creature moves, the spider moves. This time it moves over to the big game hunter, or towards the big game hunter, as no, he is the one with the most aggro. And before leaving entirely, he attacks once more the ranger. The spider attacks the ranger on a 9 as a hit. The ranger does not defend and goes down to his final hit point. Ouch! Yeah. The spider receives an action card, Spit. The spider tries to spit on the big game hunter. That's a 10. So the big game hunter cannot move on his next turn. Okay, next in line, a signal flare ignited by the assistant. The assistant simply moves somewhere and then he receives 5 aggro. But before he does, the tiny spider gets to move. Totally forgot about this one. Mama? So, let's move the assistant. And let's move him away, far away from the spider. And come on, baby, light my fire. Now the assistant has got 5 aggro, which is 1 more than the big game hunter has. So the spider once again turns around, moves towards the assistant, seven inches, so it ends up here. It gets an action card, attack, so it moves to the nearest visible figure, nearest visible model. Let's see who's closer. 4 inches for the ranger, 5 for the zoologist, so it moves to the ranger and attacks on a 3+, hits. The ranger defends on a 5, fails, and the ranger is down. Arg! Alright. Too bad. And the small spider gets to move this direction 4 inches. It's roughly here. Very clingy somehow. And yes, last but not least, the zoologist shoots at the spider with the pistol. So he just moves over here and yeah, shoots. That's a hit. And the spider defends regularly on a 6+. It defends. All right. End of turn. The ranger is down, so there are only 4 members of the expedition left, which means there are only 4 cards left in the action stack for the expedition. The card stack of the spider still includes 5 cards. However, as soon as the last member of the expedition has acted, the turn is over. So even though the spider has got 5 cards left in the stack, it gets to draw 4 cards of them at best. So let's roll for initiative. And the spider gets to act at first. The assistant is the one with the highest aggro. So the spider runs over here and gets a action card, Mind Control. Spider does a nerve test, fails, and the tiny spider moves this direction 4 inches. Oop. Right. First in line is our scientist with behavioral study. So at first the scientist moves across these eggs and thus collects the eggs. And yeah, behavioral study says the next action card does not have any effect. Faster than lightning, very good. Not another attack for the spider. Great. But it's the spider's turn for now. And once again it moves towards the assistant. 7 inches, so it ends up here. Close, but not close enough. And it's the assistant's turn, who throws a rock right after moving. Let's see. 6 to 10. The spider moves away from the assistant. Yeah, only to move once again towards the assistant, so basically it just remains in position. And it gets an action card, spit, so it spits onto the assistant. One is a failed shooting attack, and the small spider may move this direction 4 inches. It's roughly here. Okay. The big game hunter fires another shot at the spider. Again on the 5+, fails. Spider has got another void action, baby hatches. So it moves up to the assistant and attacks the assistant on a 3+, but fails. And here comes the zoologist distracting the spider, it distracts the spider by removing 1 point of aggro from the assistant. Has got 4 aggro. Right, end of turn. Initiative. The expedition begins. Once again, the assistant tries throwing a rock at the spider, but first he moves somewhere here. Eight, though the spider moves away from the assistant, which is good, because now it's basically in the corner of the playing field. However, it's the spider's turn, so it just comes charging back at the assistant together with an action card, which is attack. So the spider attacks the nearest expedition member, which is the zoologist. The spider attacks on a 3 or more, hits the zoologist, defends on a 4+, very good. And the baby spider gets to move this direction. Well, there's a pond, so it remains just in position. The scientist moves and shoots. So let's just check how far is the scientist going to move. Yeah, over here if possible. Yeah, very good. The scientist collects these eggs and now has got line of sight and the beast within 12 inches. So shooting on a 5+ fails. Well, okay, could have worked, didn't. The spider once again moves towards the assistant, attacking both the zoologist and the assistant, starting with the zoologist on a 3+, hits. The zoologist defends. Attack on the assistant, hits. The assistant defends. Good. The spider receives an action card. Faster than lightning, it attacks the figure furthest away, which is the big game hunter over there. And attacks with an 8, that's a hit. The big game hunter defense on a 6+, fails the defense, and goes down from 3 to 2 hits. No, wait. Wrong column. The big game hunter defense on a 4, so he's still at 3 life. Whew! Good fortune. And it's the big game hunter's turn. He cannot move as he is webbed in, but he may remove this web counter, and he shoots his large caliber rifle. Fails. Great job, guys, great job. And the spider remains where it is and attacks the assistant. The assistant defends. Tough guy, very good. And the little spider moves again into the pond, or not at all. And the spider receives an action card, Spit. Spitting onto the assistant if possible. 5. However, the spider's got a shooting attack of 4, so that's a hit. The assistant cannot move in the next turn. And last but not least, at the zoologist's turn, who just moves here and shoots with his pistol. That's a hit. The spider defends, or no, it does not, and goes down to 7 life. Where is the 7? Here. All right, end of turn. Initiative. The beast gets to act first with a faster than lightning action. Right, first things first, it attacks the assistant, fails the attack, and then the big game hunter hits, and the big game hunter does not, he does defend. Good. Small spider moves into this direction to the left, 4 inches, so that's roughly here. Yeah. And the assistant, being unable to move, but he removes the cobwebs and once again throws a rock. The spider moves back and is drawn immediately again towards the assistant, attacking him. But fails the attack. The action card is Mind Control, so the spider performs a nerve test, succeeds, and so the assistant moves towards the nearest other member of the expedition, which is the zoologist here. And the small spider moves into that direction, 4 inches over here. Keep standing. Right. The scientist acts with behavioral study. So once again, the beast gets a avoid action. Oh dear. And this time it's the spit action, which is void. So it's just an attack by the spider. On a 3+, it's a hit. The assistant does not defend and is down. He loses his final hit point. I'm losing a couple of trees. All right. Now it's the zoologist's turn. He is shooting, moving away from the spider. Shooting on a 5+, hits. The spider does not defend, so goes down to 6 hit points. The spider acts with a baby hatches, which basically is just another void action. But it moves towards the big game hunter, who is the model with the highest aggro currently. And the small spider moves towards Mommy. And last in line, the big game hunter, toting once again his big rifle, the large caliber rifle. He moves back there, fires, hits. The spider defends on an 8+, does not defend, so once again a d5 of damage. That's 2 damage, right? The spider goes down to 4 hit points. The big game hunter goes up to 6 aggro. All right, great, end of turn. All right, with the assistant gun, 3 cards have remained in the action stack for the expedition. Initiative. The expedition goes first. And we are starting with the big game hunter, who lays out a trap. So first things first, he just moves some inches backwards and places within 12-inch a trap marker. So it's roughly here. And the spider moves 7 inches towards the big game hunter, whoever is halted by the trap, which causes another point of damage, bringing the spider down to 3 hit points. And the spider does an attack. Dang. So it attacks the scientist. It fails the attack, fortunately. And now the zoologist goes for a throw a net action. So first things first, he gets steps closer. Then he shoots. He has to perform a shooting test on a 5+. It's a 7. So he hits. Now the final roll 1 plus 3 remaining hit points is a 4, which is less than 10, so the spider is caught. The game is won. The zoologist has caught the spider. Hooray! So the skirmish part of Alien Zoology is over, and this is where the fun begins. By having caught the spider and by having collected eggs, the zoologist may now begin to breed and even to crossbreed animals with based on the spider or on any other creatures he catches in future. And the rulebook invites you and encourages you to toy bash your own toy animals by removing parts from one animal and add them to another animal. And if you're into this kind of stuff, you can create the weirdest creatures. And there are very beautiful images of toy bashed creatures within the rulebook. So you should definitely go ahead, download it. The beta rules currently are freely available at the Wargame Vault. I'll put you a link down in the video description. So, yeah. As usual, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed what you've seen. And until we meet again, see you around. Bye-bye.